Welcome to Her Story, where motherhood is real, raw, and unfiltered.
A powerful collaboration between Birth by Us and the Birth Squad. This is a space where mothers come together to share their truths.
From pregnancy to postpartum, through triumphs and challenges, these are the stories that connect us all.
Because every mother has a story, and we're here to listen. This is Her Story.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Today, I am so excited to introduce Ngozi Nzenwa. She is a dear friend of mine, family, and so I'm so excited that you will all get to learn more from her and about her journey. So welcome, Ngozi.
Thanks, sister. Yay. We've really known each other for like ever since birth, low-key.
Can you tell us about yourself and what you do?
My name is Ngozi Nzenwa, and I am a labor and delivery nurse. I've been a labor and delivery nurse for 11 years, and I started my career as a doula about a year and a half ago. Since then, I've pretty much just taken kind of away from the labor and delivery side as being a nurse and only focusing on doula. And it definitely is an improvement in the right direction for where I want it to go as far as women's rights and just a different vibe in the delivery room altogether. I'm all about having fun in my deliveries, even if it doesn't go the way it's planned. We're still going to have a good time, and that's the way it should be, because that's the way it always has been in other countries. We're from Nigeria, so we've been seeing things different ways everywhere. So I see birth here, I see birth there, and things are done a lot differently over there, and we get better outcomes. So I'm trying to bring that all the way back over here and then join the two together and then let everybody know about it.
So, can you tell us a little bit about your personal path to motherhood?
Ooh, yes, my path. So the very, very beginning, when I was in nursing school and trying to study as much as I can and still having a whole lot of pain because I have endometriosis. I wasn't diagnosed when I was younger, but I kind of knew what it was, but never understood exactly what was going on. But when I got into nursing school and I was reading about it, I'm like, I have that, but still having to push through because I've been doing this for, I had my first period when I was 12, so I've been doing this for 20 years. So I said, it is what it is. We're gonna have to finish this out. So I graduated, and then I was trying to conceive, and I ended up having emergency surgery. And my doctor basically said that I could not conceive children naturally because one of my ovaries had torsed and just caused all types of havoc. So when I got that news, I was devastated because I always wanted to be a mother. My middle name is as in it, and that means good mother. So my parents already knew that I was supposed to be somebody's mom. And then now I have these doctors telling me that I'm not going to be nobody's mom. And that really, really messed me up. I thought that this is supposed to be my life, and then now I'm not going to be able to be what I really want to be. I don't know how to, now. So I went into a very depressive state. And then I met my partner, and we talked about it and said, well, if we're going to do this, then let's do it. We can still try to do in vitro or whatever else there is, because there were other things that the doctor said that we could do. And without even a visit or anyone in the other direction, we did our thing, and then we got pregnant immediately without the doctors doing anything to me. It's God. That's all it is. That's all I'm gonna say. It's God. Because these doctors were telling me, girl, you ain't gonna have no kids. My doctor, she said, I have never seen so much scar tissue. And she's like, you must be hurt all the time. I said, yeah, it was terrible. So when I got pregnant, I'm like, that's weird because they just told me that I can't, have babies. Well, and then not only do I get pregnant, but I get pregnant with twins. And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, all right, cool. That's correct. Well, we're gonna take this blessing and we're gonna rock with it. And then since then, that was 12 years ago. Since then, we have been just rocking ever since. And I have 12-year-old girls, and I have a 9-year-old boy and a 5-year-old boy, all without any medical intervention, just God doing his thing with my one terrible ovary and a whole bunch of prayer and a whole bunch of God's blessings.
That is amazing. Thank you so much
Yes,
for sharing that story. Do you think you can talk a little bit more about your pregnancies and birth experiences?
With the pregnancy with the twins, I had to study while I'm pregnant. I didn't tell anyone I was pregnant because I'm like, I'm not about to let them kick me out of this program because like this is it. No, cover up this little belly and then just learn everything. By the end of my pregnancy, I knew too much. And then like I was really, really small. So people really couldn't even tell that I was pregnant. So I'm walking around trying to figure out like I want to master this before I leave because I'm gonna be down for the count for a little bit, but I want to make sure I know everything. And so I was going to all my classes, doing all my notes. So I learned every single thing I could see. And then during a C-section, when I saw it, it wasn't the first time I had seen it, but I saw it as a pregnant person. That's where I wanted to be, and that's where I felt comfortable. And I loved it there. So I knew for myself that I wanted to have a C-section to deliver my twins, even though everyone was saying like, "Oh, you can do it fashionably," and I've seen it done so many times before and after. I'm like, "That's great," but it's not going to be me. It's not going to be me. I don't want to do it. And during my actual time of being in the hospital while I was pregnant because of complications with the kids, they were born at 35 weeks and 3 days, around that. But they were always small. They were IUGR, what is it, intrauterine growth restrictions, since they were like 20 weeks. So they were really, really tiny, and they never grew. So I was doing NSTs every 2 days for 3 weeks, going to the doctor all the time, checking for these kids. I was 28 weeks when I realized I cannot be at work anymore. And I didn't realize it for myself. My body told me, so I fainted and I had no idea what happened. I woke up and I was inside of the triage. And I'm like, what happened? They were like, well, you fainted on the floor. So that was my last day of work. So at 28 weeks, I couldn't go anywhere anymore. They're like, you have to just sit and only be on bed rest. I think that lasted like 2.5 weeks. And then we got to the doctor's office for another NST. And he said, we can't let you go back home because this baby just doesn't want to move for some reason. So I stayed in the antepartum unit for 8 days, stayed there for 8 days before I was delivered. So this was at week 34. My coworkers said I was the worst patient ever. And I didn't understand why, because I was just sitting there doing nothing with these things on me and not being able to move, no, nothing the entire time. I'm just like, this is stupid. I see why people are mean over here. Like, I would rather be in my own house, my own thing, but I'm in a hospital with the people that I don't know. I can't sleep because they're coming in every 2 seconds. Yes, this is their job, but damn, I don't want to be here. Like, and it was a lot. So I would get, and so while I was there, my only saving grace, which is still now, is my mother. For those 8 days, she stayed in the hospital with me. She did not leave ever. My partner was bringing things to her, and then just, he's leaving Ash because she's like, I'm staying here. This is my thing. And I'm like, okay. And I don't know what I would have done if she was not there. Honestly, do not know what I would have done because she's still my saving grace, but she has been there through everything, and like she's my everything. So like she's the only reason why I was able to be sane while I was a patient in the hospital for over a week. Like I was losing my damn mind, but she just kept saying everything's gonna be okay. And then the day that we were supposed to go for the induction, like I was supposed to be set for induction at 10 a.m. My water broke at 6 a.m. and I'm like, what is this? Because it didn't like break and pop, it was just trickling. And then I went to the bathroom and it started trickling again. And I'm like, am I peeing on myself? Like, this is stupid. So I'm walking to the bathroom and my mom is watching me walk back and forth. And I'm like patting myself down every time. And she's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, Mom, stuff keeps coming out. Like I keep peeing on myself. And she's like, I think your water broke. And I'm like, oh, nah, that can't be. That can't be. Turns out 100% my water did break. My soul was telling me, sis, you do not want to have a vaginal delivery. You just don't want it. And I had told my doctor this. He kept telling me, it's fine. The babies are both head down. They're small. They're this, they're that. And I'm like, okay. At the very end, when my mom was like, this is a sign. that this is not supposed to be happening for you. As I called him and I said, sir, I'm not going to have vaginal delivery. It is what it is. And I fired him and I got another doctor at that exact time because I worked there. And this person who she's an amazing doctor. I've seen her work and I'm like, she looks like she knows what she's doing. And I feel comfortable with her. Because if I didn't feel comfortable with someone, I'm not going to let nobody touch me. That's just me that's just given. But I felt comfortable with her. So I said, is it okay that I don't want a induction? And she's like, you can do whatever you want to do. This is your body. I said, sis, you're hired. Like, let's go. So we get ready for the C-section. It's about like 10 a.m. at this time. And I'm an add-on. So they're like trying to figure out like, okay, we're going to add her onto the list. And I'm like, I'll wait. I'm not, taking up anyone's time or anything. So just, there's no rush. Everything is fine here. So it was a controlled situation. And then it just went so perfectly. The C-section part. The baby one came out. Her umbilical cord was wrapped around her neck 3 times, and she just didn't move. I didn't even get this. I got to see it for like 2 seconds. Took her straight to the NICU. Second one came out, and then she starts moving, but she's like really labor breathing. And I see her for a second, and then they just whisk them both off. I did not see my kids for a full 12, 13 hours because they just didn't tell me what was going on. I was being told by my partner that everything was okay, so I was not really worried. But they were 3.5 pounds each. They're hooked up to stuff. Their breathing is not right, and everything. But by the 13th hour, they started to perk up, and then everything was great. And now they're like the best babies in the NICU. And then by that time, I'm actually able to wheelchair myself to go to the NICU. So I see these things that I have created. And it just completely like changed my life from there. Everyone says, oh, once you see your babies and then your whole life changed. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. When I saw them, I'm like, they're looking like aliens. And I'm like, I don't know what it is, but I love them already. They look crazy, but these are mine. Like they came from inside of me. It's insane. And then once I brought them home, I'm like, okay, now I have to raise these kids and take care of them. And then I got scared. So that part was like a whole different story. But once again, my mom was there. She moved in with me for 6 months. She helped me. I had a lot of help. I still have a lot of help. I've got 6 siblings, and a whole bunch of aunties and uncles. So my kids have been loved forever. We always have people in my house, and that's how I've been pretty much raising my family. So that was my first pregnancy. My second one, I don't remember. That was my easiest one. Like literally, I don't remember it, but I don't remember his pregnancy because nothing happened. Like everything was okay. I worked the entire time, but with that pregnancy it was great. And then, but the delivery part though, once again, I had a C-section, and at it was like 37 weeks, I had noticed I was having like pain, like just all the way down where my incision line was. And I had him 2.5 years after the twins, which is well in the time that I could get pregnant again. I was having so much pain at 37 weeks. And I had told my doctor, like, yo, this is not normal. So then I put myself on bed rest again. Everything is fine. So 37 weeks and 4 days, I wake up and I'm like, nah, I feel like somebody is taking my insides and then squishing it like this and then pressing down every 3 to 4 minutes. I don't know what's going on, but I don't feel right. But because I'm always thinking about everything that I should prepare for beforehand, I get all my affairs in order before I go, because I had a feeling that if I go there, either I'm going to deliver today or I'm not going to go home. So get my whole household in order and then get to the hospital. They put the baby on they put him on and he's fine. And my coworker checked my cervix. She's like, "You're like 4 centimeters," and I'm like, "Damn, I thought as much." I'm feeling these contractions, yeah, a lot, and it hurts. So they're like, "Call my doctor." Luckily, she was already getting there. They're getting me ready for surgery, and I'm like, I'm still like, this pain is not cool, and I just felt like something in my mind told me, what if my uterus is just like opening on its own? It was just a thought that was in my head, but I'm like, that's weird, whatever. And so I get my epidural. We're good. We're ready for the C-section. As soon as she cuts, this boy low key just flies straight out. Like it was the fastest C-section ever. I had a uterine window. That thing was open. She's like, I don't know I don't know how you felt this or whatever the case was, but if you were to stay for an hour or a day more, we don't know what would have happened because that thing was almost there. We were getting there. We were kind of scared, and I'm like, I knew it. It was not comfortable at all. So everything was great, and we sewed me up, and everything was perfect. I didn't bleed. It was a wonderful C-section, but it could have gone bad. But I'm glad that I listened to my body because a lot of us don't, and then we wonder, like, okay, I wonder why this happened. I know why it happened because when I'm asking you these questions, you were like, well, I felt this last week. Girl, you should have said something last week. Please say something last week. Or I was thinking it, but I didn't tell anybody. Why? Say something. This could have helped you. But a lot of people don't think that way. And so since I'm so in tune with my body and because of I do what I do, I was able to feel it and be like, no, let's go ahead and take care of this. Because then I got pregnant for the third time with my 5-year-old. Same scenario, same situation. I said, he was 38 and 5. But that first, 2 hours of me like feel like, I think it's coming. I get, once again, got my whole house in order. Hospital's an hour away from where I live. As we're going, I'm like, ooh, it's starting to hurt a little bit more, a little bit more. By the time I get to the hospital, and it had been exactly an hour, I'm like, there needs to be an OR ready now because I'm feeling exactly the way I felt before. So I get to the operating room again. It's the same doctor. She's delivered both of my sons. So she's like, all right, we're gonna do this again. And same thing. She cuts and get her in the window right there for the second time. And the difference with that one, it was a longer C-section because I actually did start bleeding. And so he does the Pitocin, we do the Cytotec, we do the what is that, Methogen, and then I'm good. I bled like 2 liters, but I didn't die, and everything was fine. I'm not worried about the bleeding because I believe in everyone in this room. It was an interesting C-section. It was. I see why people of color, why women of color, they say that that they don't take us seriously. I don't ever want my patient's family to ever feel like they didn't have somebody that was writing for them. Like things didn't go the way they wanted to, but at least the person in the room, like they went hard for me. So even if I didn't get my outcome, I know that it was handled the best way that it was because this person was advocating for me. And I feel like every day that's how I live my life. But at the end of my journey as a labor and delivery nurse, I realized that the way I do my job is a little bit different because I treat my patients like my family, my sister, my brother, my whoever, the spouse, the whoever, the partner, whatever your denomination is, whatever you identify yourself as. You're my family. I don't care. So if I feel like something is happening and you don't know 100% about it, or they're talking about it and you don't like really understand it, then let's talk about it because I want you to have full knowledge of what's going on before you start making decisions. It doesn't have to be hostile. There's ways that we can do this and that it can always be met in love. I want my patients to feel like I am her cheerleader and I'm her biggest advocate, and that everything that happens in this room is intentional and it's the way it's supposed to be. And so with my situation, I felt like I left at the perfect time because as soon as I left, my whole life changed. Delivery is my thing. Being around women is my thing. It's always been my thing. This is something that I don't see as a job. This is my passion. I love doing this. So when I left, I'm like, oh man, I'm really gonna miss this. But then when I came back as a doula, I'm like, okay, now I'm getting best of both worlds. So now I still have my medical background where I see what's going on. I know what these doctors are saying, and then I also have this compassionate side where this is my person, this is my client, and we're gonna give her a wonderful delivery. I'm kind of meeting in the middle, and so that they know exactly what's going on. And I think that afterwards, the patients feel so much more like empowered because they know that everything that was happening in the room, they understood it and they saw everything as positive. Because even if there's things that were going like, shifting to a different direction, we move it and then we're good. It feels right when you have someone that you know for sure that, this lady has got my back. You are my person. And I don't leave until the baby's delivered. Even if it takes 2, 3, 4 days, then I'm gonna be there 2, 3, 4 days. That's my job. But once again, it's not my job. It's just what I do. I tell everybody I'm just like one of your screaming aunties. I'm here all the time. If you need me, I'm here. So if you call me at 2 o'clock in the morning and you need something, I'm gonna answer the phone at 2 o'clock in the morning because that's just what I do. That's one of the reasons why I really love that I found this niche and that there are other people that are doing it too. Because I thought that not that many Black doulas that are doing what we're doing. And then I go on Instagram or go on this and that. I'm like, oh, there's a bunch of us. We out here. Like, let's do this. We want to have this for everybody. We want to make sure that everybody is happy. We want to make sure that everyone's delivery is the way it's supposed to be. But it all needs to change from like the ground roots, I believe. I don't know how to fix the situation, but now that I have kind of talked to other people and then just brainstormed with a lot of other doulas, a lot of other nurses, and a lot of other Black nurses like me that are trying to that are trying to move to the doula side. There's a little group of us, and we're talking about things that we can do differently. We want to be where we are informed and we know what's going on, and we want to help, and then we want to bring it out to the world.
That's wonderful. I really feel like your nursing experience as a labor and delivery nurse, and then also your own personal experience, have put you in a unique position to be able to educate and make a positive change in the birth experiences of women. I really appreciate the work that you're doing. And I wanted you to just briefly tell us about your company, and then if there's any things that you'd like to share with the Birth Squad and how we can find you.
My company is called Motherhood LLC, and it is a full spectrum doula consultation company. So I teach labor and delivery classes. I also teach childbirth class. I teach maternal health, breastfeeding classes, placental encapsulation, and it's just basically you're like your one-stop shop for all things like labor and delivery, and then also childcare as well. I get a lot of calls for breastfeeding consultation, and I also drive to people's houses as well. So I am able to do it either virtually or I do it in person. And then at my own house, I actually have a full spectrum, like a yoga studio for labor delivery, and I also have it for pregnancy yoga and meditation, everything. It's all in my house. So if I literally have like a one-stop shop for all things. And then I also do the doula courses, and then also I have a doula as well. Most of them are done in the hospital. And I only have a few that I've done home deliveries for, but I'm not the one who's doing the delivery. I work with midwives, and they're the ones that do that. I have a website. It's at mothermode.com. And then I also have a Instagram. It's Mothermode LA. And those are the two ways that you can reach me. All of my services is all listed there.
Thank you so much. We just wanted to say how much we appreciated talking with you today and all the information that you shared. And hopefully people will reach out to you and learn more about what it means to have a labor and delivery nurse, a midwife, and a doula who's there to support them.
Thank you for listening to her story. We hope that these stories inspire, uplift, and remind you that you're never alone on this path.
Tune in on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Also, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and join the conversation.
We would love to hear your thoughts, your stories, and you can connect with us on social media.
Together, we're building a community, one voice at a time.